Welcome to Walnut Medical Services Airsep Oxygen Concentrator demonstration. The demonstration for these Airsep machines will apply to the 5-liter New Life, the intensity 8, and this one here is the intensity 10. So the basic concept of all three of these machines is the same. The controls, the liter flow controls, and all that stuff are identical. So to start, just an overview of the machine. This is your on and off switch, reset button, hour meter, liter flow control. So this one here is a 10-liter machine, so it will go to 10. The New Lights will go to 5. The intensity 8s will go to 8, and the intensity 10s go to 10. This is your spout where the oxygen will come out of. If you have to put a humidifier bottle on, you will remove this and just stick it right here to hold. Then you put the bottle on there, but we will demonstrate that there shortly. So for now, we're just going to put this back on here. You want to make sure this is threaded properly. You don't want it to be cross-threaded because then that affects the oxygen coming out of the machine. Where my finger is, there's a sensor on here. If this machine drops below 90% oxygen, this yellow light will come on. And if it stays on for more than 15 minutes, you want to give us a call. Our sticker with all our phone numbers are on each machine. There's an 800 number and also each phone number for each branch office that we have. You may see this light come on for a few minutes every now and again. Just keep an eye on the clock, start recording the time. If it stays on 15 minutes, like I said, that's when you want to call us. It may go off and on, nothing to worry about there. This yellow light will also come on when you first turn the machine on, and it will alarm, which you will hear whenever I turn the machine on. On the back of the machine is a filter. Right here, this needs to be cleaned once a week. You take the filter off, run it under water, and dry it real good in a paper towel or a hand towel to squeeze out all the excess water. It's very important that this filter is kept clean because this is where the machine sucks in all the room air. Helps filter it out, filter out the dust so the machine can work properly. We breathe 21% oxygen. The rest of the gases in the room air is nitrogen, a big portion of it, and then hydrogen and some CO2. So it's very important that filter's clean so it can help the room air get sucked in. And what the concentrator does, it filters out all the other gases and will put out at least 90% pure oxygen through this concentrator. Okay? So to operate this, first thing you want to do is hit the power button. So you can hear the alarm. It should shut off in a few seconds. Now if the power goes out or your concentrator shuts down completely, that alarm will sound. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your machine's in a place where you can hear it in the middle of the night. If your bedroom's upstairs and your machine is downstairs, a good idea that some people do is they'll buy a baby monitor. And they'll put one near the concentrator and one near their bed so that if the alarm goes off in the middle of the night, the sound will come through the baby monitor and allow that person to be woken up because of the alarm. And right here where my finger is, once again, is the yellow light. So that will come on for a few minutes when you first turn the machine on, and then it will go out. If it comes on as you're using the machine, just remember 15 minutes it stays on continuous, then give us a call. And you can feel the air coming out of the concentrator here. Okay? The reset button works like a circuit breaker in your house. So if the power goes out or your machine shuts down for some reason, first thing you want to do is check the reset button. If it's kicked, it'll be popped out just like your circuits in your home are. So in that case, you just turn the machine off, push the reset button back in, and then turn the machine back on. And especially after a power failure, that usually kicks the machine back on and gets it up and running for you. Okay? So now I'm going to demonstrate how to connect the oxygen tubing to your machine. Like I said, the controls are pretty basic. We'll review everything again at the end. The maximum you can put on your oxygen concentrator is 47 feet. So this is a 20-foot tubing here, another 20-footer, 2 connectors, and a 7-foot cannula. And this is your humidifier bottle, which we will go over here shortly. So what you do is you take your first 20-foot tubing, you're going to connect it to your oxygen concentrator right onto we call them the Christmas trees because they look like upside down trees. You just push this on here, and you get your end of your tubing. You're going to take one of your connectors and insert it there. Then you take your other 20-footer. If you don't need to use all 47 feet, If you have enough of 27, that's fine, because the less tubing, the better. Tubing can be a tripping hazard, so you want to make sure you're keeping it to your side, kind of like you do when you're using your vacuum cleaner. Make sure it stays out of your feet so you don't trip. Especially going up and down the stairs, it's very important to be cautious with your tubing. You're going to connect your other 20-foot tubing. You just want to push it in snug. Now we're going to connect the cannula. So now we have our 40-foot of tubing. Take your last cannula or connector. That's going to pop on there. And you can put your finger on it. That's a good test to make sure the air is still coming out. And then we're just going to attach our nasal cannula. And now you can't hear it because it's a small air coming out of the cannula. So with your cannula, you've got two prongs. Most of them are curved, so you want to have the curved part of the prongs down so that when it goes into your nose, it has something to hook onto. And you go over each ear, and then you have your little clip on the bottom here, which will slide up and down to tighten the cannula on so it holds it in place while you're sleeping or using your oxygen. Okay. So now that you got your tubing connected, you want to make sure that your liter flow is set to the proper liter flow. Do not go above or below what your doctor prescribed. So if your doctor ordered you 5 liters a minute, you want to set the little black ball between the 4 and the 6 to the dark line, which is a 5. Okay. It's very important. Oxygen is a drug, so you do not want to use more than what your doctor is prescribed for you, because that is dangerous for you as well. Okay. You can see the yellow light is going off, so we know our machine's up to par and it's working properly. Of course, it does make a humming noise because there's a motors working inside there, filtering out the room air and putting out the oxygen through the tubing. A quick review on how to, your nasal cannula should be changed every 2 weeks. So what you do is you just disconnect it from your tubing, dispose of it, open up a new pack of a cannula, and stick it back on. So every 2 weeks, unless you have a nasal cold or something like that, then you want to do it maybe every week. All you gotta do is call us for more supplies. Without using a humidifier bottle, your tubing should be changed every 3 months. So when you need more supplies, like I said, give us a call. We'll drop ship them in the mail to you, or we'll drop them off on your porch so that you have replacements. So once again, 2 weeks on the cannulas, 3 months on the tubing if you're not using a humidifier bottle. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to use the humidifier bottle and put it on to your oxygen concentrator. So it's not recommended for patients under 4 liters per minute to use humidifier bottles. However, when the temperature changes and you get into winter, the air is drier, your furnaces are running, your heaters are going, it makes the room air very dry, and sometimes having a humidifier bottle will help add some moisture to your nose, help prevent the dryness, bloody noses, and cracks you may experience around your nose. So to put this on, first thing you need to do is take the lid off. You can see that the lid is threaded and the bottle is also threaded. In here is distilled water. You do not use tap water. It must be distilled water. And I fill it only up to the minimum line because you have to replace this water every day. You do not add new water to old water. So every day you're going to dump this out, get fresh distilled water, fill it up. Like I said, just above the minimum line is plenty to get the humidification inside the oxygen tubing. Okay. The most important part is when you go to put the lid back on. You want to make sure that this is screwed on properly and it's threaded. If it is cross-threaded, you're not going to get any air coming out of this tip of the bottle. You'll see the water bubbling in here, but there will be no air coming out of here. Okay. So on this machine, what you're going to do is you're going to take off your tubing, and that will go right onto the tip of your bottle here momentarily. So now you have to take your green Christmas tree off. Like I said, you want to save this. You do not want to lose this. I tell everybody put it right on your concentrator like that. Because if you have a problem with your bottle, all you do is put this back on here and you can connect your tubing right to it and you have no worries, especially if it's after hours. You don't want to be messing with that stuff and have a problem. Top of the bottle is a wing nut that's threaded, and the silver spout on the concentrator is also threaded. You want to make sure this is threaded properly. Once again, you do not want to cross thread it. It should go on easy. If you're fighting to put it on, it's going on crooked or cross threaded. You can see the water is bubbling. The key test, what you want to do to make sure that the air is coming out before you reattach your tubing, stick your finger on the tip of the bottle and it'll make that little pulsing noise just by doing this. That way you can feel that air coming out. And you'll also see the ball bounce a little bit when you're doing this. If your bottle's not threaded correctly, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. The bottle's a little bit loose. It is still bubbling. But now when I stick my finger on the tip, you do not hear that pulsing sound of the air coming out. So that's your first sign that something is messed up either here, it's not threaded properly, or at the wing nut. So that case, you want to go back and take everything back off again. In the case here, I just have to tighten the bottle back up. And it was just a slight turn is all it took for that air to stop coming out of here. So when you're changing your bottle daily, putting fresh water in, it's very important that you make sure these two spots are threaded correctly. And the best way to do that is to stick your finger on the tip of the bottle and make sure you feel the air. Once you know it's on and it's coming out, you just place your tubing back on the bottle, and now you have the oxygen. We'll have some humidification coming through the line to help you with your dry nose, bloody noses, etc. Okay. So just a quick review. Once again, your on and off switches here. Reset button works like a circuit breaker in case of a power failure. You push that button in, and it should kick the machine back on for you. If it doesn't, then you give us a call. Like I said, Walnut is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is your liter flow control. Do not use above or below what your doctor tells you. If the doctor tells you 5 liters, you make sure this is kept on 5 liters per minute. Yellow light will come on when you first turn the machine on with the alarm. If it stays on for 15 minutes, give us a call. And one of the most important things is the filter in the back. Take it out, run it under water, dry it in a towel or paper towel, and stick it back in. Okay. Once again, if you have any questions or any problems with your oxygen concentrator, please give us a call at Walnut Medical Services. We have 24-hour service, and our phone numbers are listed on every concentrator that we have. Thank you.